All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome back to the Danielle YouTube show, episode 4. Yeah, I got a nice little intro song. I'm gonna play that at the end. Give you something, change it up a little bit, and give you something to look forward to. But we've been going right along here. Last episode was story, and we're talking about the stage of stories and how the stage of stories has been manipulated in your mind so that someone can control the mind. This is the mirror, how that mirror, if the story has been changed and the story has been manipulated, your mind's been changed, then what you are mirroring, you might mirror the wrong thing, or you might just try to mirror everything back to you. What a mirror does is it reflects to you, and then that's just one. The stage is a stage of three. We live in the third dimension. I'm going to get more into that on this episode, called The Mirror. The best way to do that is to introduce to you my other YouTube show called French Louis Poetry. French Louis Poetry is a poetry channel that I have where I wrote 3 poetry books, and I actually 4. I'm publishing them on YouTube on the channel. The first one was called There Are No Humans in Heaven, and it is a commentary on the separation, or what the theologians call the depravity between God and man. Now, it is not just a moral depravity. It's not just a fallen we sinned. It is a the creation fell depravity. It is heaven was connected to earth, and there was different dimensions. There are different dimensions. There's 10 of them, and I get into the dimensions, and I get into time travel, and I get into time and space in this poetry book. I also get into the Bible a little bit, and I get into value and money manipulation into this book, and idol worship and idolatry. That is a big part of the fallen nature as well, that there are no humans in heaven, because to be in heaven, you have to be in God's presence. It's God's home. And he kind of, it's in a way you could say he cast us out of heaven, or he separated heaven from earth because we couldn't handle his glory. We wanted to steal it. No, that wasn't us, but that was us. That was we were cloned from God. Um, in his image, he breathed life into us. He took us out of the dust and made us into man and woman. And now we are supposed to mirror our energy, our emotions to God, and and now we can only mirror them to each other. And instead of mirroring them back and forth to each other, we try to just mirror it back to ourselves. And that is basic idolatry. So that's a lot of the themes in the first book. There are no humans in heaven. You'll see a lot of the same type of themes in that book. And then in the second book, it's called Dear Democrats. Now, a Democrat in this term is a heathen. So the word Democrat means the God of the people. On the money, it says from the many one. So I play off of that a lot. A heathen is just a self worshiper. Someone that is a pagan is a star worshiper, and they're just a basic idolater that tries to use the created order to make a great name for themselves, to mirror the energy and the existence to themselves. Within paganism, their heathenism and paganism kind of mix a little bit when heathens figure out how to become great, how to make money, how to manipulate value. They become a little more pagan. That when they do sacrificial sacrifices, they tend to become a little more pagan. They do them on star dates. They do them on different holidays, and to create energy, and it's all about energy to them and the manipulation of emotions, and it leads to death. It leads to a system of one where everything beams back to you, and if you don't beam it back, it doesn't come back to you. So, and that is the kind of the point of God's creation. He did not create this created order for you. He created it for himself, so he could know he exists. Without us letting him know he exists, he does know he exists, but it doesn't give him good pleasure. It doesn't give him um, existence. It doesn't let him know in a way that he exists. And until we do that, um, he's just sitting there alone. And in heaven, it says all we do is worship God. And on earth, all we do is take God's creation and make a great name for us, worship ourselves. And until we stop doing that, we don't get to be in heaven. So there are no humans in heaven, because to be human you don't want to walk on gold roads. You want to take gold and put it on yourself and glorify yourself. And so those two books kind of coincide. But I do like to pick on Democrats right now, and just because it's fun. But they also don't know what they believe, and that drives me crazy. Christians think they know what they believe. They become self-righteous in their belief, and they think that everything is their rules and their system, and they interpret words and dogma, which is just religious rules, their way. And if you don't see it their way, then they won't agree with you. And they're very hard to talk to. Democrats just don't know what they believe. They were just, if it feels good, do it. And then there needs to be a remedy. There needs to be medicine. There's problems. Well, the problem is prevention. The problem is don't create the mess in the first place. Don't put metals in the food. Don't put chemicals in the food and water to create cancer. Before the 1950s, there was barely any cancer. David Rockefeller came along, changed the food and medical system. Now there's cancer everywhere. Well, surprise, surprise. Are there better treatments for cancer? Yes. Are there 100% cures for cancer? No. It's like, is there a cure for what if you put a bullet in someone's head and blow their brains out? No. Like prevention. You kind of need to not mess with people's cells and put metal in their cells and try to change their genes and change their hormones, or they're going to get cancer and they're going to get sick, and then they're going to need remedy from you. And that's kind of what sin is in a way, but it's also a bigger sin than just morally. It's a what the Catholic theologian Augustine said was pride, which was the root of all sin. And I touch on his teachings a lot, which come from a book called Confessions. And there's also another, George Orwell. I talk about his doublethink, which is putting two competing ideologies out there, and then they really only just promote one of them, and then um, but admit that the other one does exist too. And a lot of times there's a lot of proof on the other one. That's what flat earthers and truthers are telling you. Like they do hide the truth in plain sight. So, and then I have another book called B-Sides, which is just fun poems. And then Rock of Ages is my newest book that I'm starting to publish now, which gets more into God and Jesus and his creation, but also him as the cornerstone, him as the authority figure, as opposed to the first one being more about us and our separation between him. I'm talking about what we are separated from. But I've only released a couple of those. But a lot of them have the same basic theme and the same basic rhyme scheme. But they are a lot of fun, and I really would appreciate it if everybody check them out. The stuff we're talking about today with the mirror, the poem "Imagine the 10th Dimensions" will be very important, and then also um, time and space and the time space continuum and time travel. Those poems will definitely help you kind of understand where I'm coming from in different points of existence and different desires. They all live here in the third dimension in time and space, height, width, and depth. Um, and then they manifest themselves to us in different emotional fields, different dream states, if you will. But the heathens want to make the dream state all about them. The pagans want to make you think it's all about you, so they are the ones that created the dream state. They're the ones that created the reality. And then Christians want to take God's dream state and then manage it, and they want to be God's manager, and they want to kind of say who gets to go to the pearly gates and who gets to go to heaven, who doesn't, and be kind of the dean of God's creation. And then there's the meek, the people that just are kind of hanging out watching the show, kind of trying to figure it out, or maybe not even trying to figure it out, just trying to have a basic life. And they're the ones in Matthew 5 that say we'll inherit the earth. They will, if things do ever get turned around, that's how who will be left. They'll be hanging out, and we'll trade with you. I don't care about your spirituality. I don't care about your religion. I don't care about what you believe. Just don't try to screw me over and give me a good price. And I understand that what we are trading, and we are trading our time, and we are also trading glory. It made me feel good to make this pie for you. It made me feel good to cut your lawn. I do want to feel successful at the end of the day. It does feel good to go home and to my friends and family after a hard day's work or a hard days of just giving a lot of time, presenting information or being, feeling like a star. But nowadays, everybody wants to be a star. No one wants to be the audience. And the people that live in the middle, where it's a give and take and can handle that, it seems like everybody else is crazy, just wanting to be worshipped. And if we don't mirror our time and our energy and our glory back to each other, there's just going to be one person left, like the movie Alien Covenant 2, where he cloned a bunch of people and then killed all his clones because they didn't satisfy him. And that's kind of seems like what idolatry does when you worship idols, when you worship pieces of God's creation and not the creator. Even if you can't get to a concept of a creator, that's not really my issue for you. That is between you and mirroring what you want to reflect to God. A lot of that goes back to Augustine's pride. It lives in something that in your energy that you can't comprehend, that there's a bigger power source, there's a bigger energy, there's a bigger existence, there's a bigger creator above you. And I don't see why that's so hard for a lot of people. A lot of people that have a really hard time with that. They seem to be nice, moral, genuine people. And it's weird. And then what's so great about God's system is there is forgiveness. There is forgiveness for the immoral. There is forgiveness for the proud. There is forgiveness for the self-righteous. There is forgiveness for the people, the heathen, that the people that do nothing. There is forgiveness for the pagan that wants to make it all about them. But you do have to recycle yourself in this existence, or you're gonna mirror the energy to yourself, and you're gonna get stuck in it, and you are gonna become kind of possessed by it. So that is the gist of the mirror. And then check out French Louis Poetry and let me know what you think. I work hard on those poems, and I got a bunch of them now, and I got a bunch more to put out. So it would just be the best thing ever, man, if people checked out the poems and let me know what they thought. And then let me know what you think on this show, and we'll do some discussions, we'll do some arguments, we'll do some debates. But until then, I'll just keep doing this general theme that someone stole your mind, and then stole your mind by controlling the story. They created a simulation. They created a story that was like the original story, and then so they could control the mirror of existence, so they could control the mirror of energy and get people to either do it for their glory or just take them down with them, and they'll be like them, and then we'll just have a miserable experience here. And they don't want you to know the story. They don't want you to know that they did this. And then they stole the story. So and then I'm the Daniel, and that was the introduction show. So that kind of wraps up all 4 episodes I've done so far. And I say it the same way on French Louis Poetry. But whichever one you prefer. Thank you so much. Dare to be a Daniel, dare to stand alone, dare to have a purpose firm, dare to make it known. Standing by a purpose true, heeding God's command. Honor them, the faithful few. All hail to Daniel's band. Dare to be a Daniel, dare to stand alone, dare to have a purpose firm, dare to make it known. Many mighty men are lost, daring not to stand, who for God has been a host by joining Daniel's band.